Okay, welcome back. So in our previous episode, we looked at fetching a single record. Right now, we can fetch a single record right now. If I go here, I click on view, I can view only this record. Okay, so this is really great. We are doing so good. We are doing so good. And now we are on, so we finished the create, the C. We are now on the view. We have done the two parts of view where we viewed all details from the database. We have them here, the list of all students. Now we went ahead and also viewed a single record here in the last episode. Now in this episode, we are going to look at how do we edit. And in fact, in all of them, the hardest, I think it is the edit. Okay, so here on this edit, what we want is, if I click on edit, I should be able to update the records of this person. Okay, I should access all the records of this person and on click on of edit. So right now, if I click edit, on the edit page, there is nothing. So the edit page, if you remember very well, I want to just show you in a second from here. So when we click on edit, it takes us to this page like this one. Okay, the edit page should have the input values having the previous records or the previous data in it. Okay, it should look something like this. So this one looks like the create page, if you remember the create page here. So the create page looks like this, and this is how even the edit page looks like. The difference is that this one is already having the data, and it is also having the update button, but exactly they are the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to create, get all this data in the create, Control C, go to edit. There is nothing right now, paste it there. Okay, so right now if I go to let me go save this, refresh, go to edit. Right now on edit is having this, okay, is having this fields. But what we want first of all is we want to see the previous data that was there, because if you are updating, click on edit, I should edit the already existing information. For instance, the name, I can edit the name, I can edit the course. Okay, we cannot edit the ID, but we can edit the name and the course. So if I click on edit, I want to see my previous data that I had here. Okay, now one thing we are going to do exactly the same is sending also, we want to know which data or which record are we editing. So we want to send this ID onto the edit page. Okay, want to send this edit data, the edit ID onto this edit page. And we saw from our previous video that is very easy. So back to the index where we have this one, we can attach now the ID. So I'm just going to copy this, Control C, Control C, go to the edit here, and instead of just going there like that, let's send an ID. So right now I'm sending the ID. So by putting question mark ID, so here when you put question mark, you can attach some values. Question mark ID is equal to PHP equal row ID. So here I'm sending the ID to the edit page. Okay, I'm sending the ID to the edit page so that I can know which record am I editing. So going back to the edit, we can receive this ID on top here. So I'm just going to go on top here. So $ID is equal to $get. So we saw that one, $get, and we can get it from the ID like so. So save. Now let me echo it, echo, so that we can see it. So echo and double quotes. I'm just going to echo a p tag here with the $ID so that we can see it. So let me go back here, refresh. Now when I go to edit, you can see that we have a 2 here and we are printing out a 2 here. That means we have access to this we are accessing. So here you get, we have this ID. Okay, we have this ID, and this ID is going to help us a lot. I want you to pay maximum attention. This edit page is very interesting because it is where we do perform more than one query. We haven't done it anywhere else. It is going to be the first to do these 2 queries. So pay attention. And so the first thing we want is, using this ID, we want to tell the database to get for us the data for these people here, because already this is an existing field in the database. Like this record is already there, the one with ID 2. So first of all, want to know what was the full name and what was the course. Want to get the student name here and the course here for this ID 2. That is the first query we are going to do. Okay, that means we are going to do exactly what we did last their side. So I want you to scroll down near the form or inside the form. Okay, inside the form here, don't change anything, just go down here. Let's make a query. So we are going to say SQL is we are going to run this query, and this query says select star. We are getting everything from, okay, we are getting everything from the students table. Students, okay, where, so we have to write the where clause because we want to get specifically for the ID 2. So I will say where ID is equal to, where ID is equal to $ID. Remember, we have this already $ID on top here. We got it from here, from the get method, and we are using it here to fetch the data for this person. Okay, so after writing the query, let's run the query. So we say $raise is equal to MySQL query. By the way, if you are finding hard time to cram these functions, please write them down. Always have your notebook. Keep on writing on the paper until you can write this query from your head. Please do that. Watching me coding here, it will not make you to understand it or to code it. Write it down on the paper several times until you can write it from your head. Can you do that, please? If it is means pausing a video, pause the video. Write these queries down on the paper from your head. If you cannot, keep on looking at it until you can write it alone without seeing it. Okay? After doing that, then you can now continue. The MySQL query takes in connection, and also takes in the SQL we are running statement. So after that, we can get the row back. So this row is having the information, which is MySQL, okay, fetch a sock, okay, and it takes in the query, or it also runs the query. So this row is the one which is having our data, okay, is the one which is having our data. And now here on where we have, by the way, this is student name. So where we are having here the student name, we are going to go to this input and we add one thing, which is value. Okay, so just add one attribute, value. Okay, so this value attribute is the one that shows the value that is there. So right now, let me show you. If I put something like save this, let's go there in the browser, refresh. So you can see this is here. So the h, or the value part, is then holds the value of this input. So what we want is to get this the name for this ID that belongs to this person here of this ID. Remember, here we are getting all his data back. So we want to populate what was the previous value before editing. Remember, we are on the edit page. We want this person to be able to edit his name, to edit his course. Okay, so at this point, on the value here, we are going to put the data dynamically. So just put PHP like so. Sorry, so like so, and here we are going to say echo. So echo $row, and on this row we want to get the student name. Okay, so if now I refresh here, look at that, I have JB Web Developer is the one who belongs to ID 2. I just get his course, so we can also get the course by copying this value here. So copy the value, Ctrl C, go to enter student, here student course. So down here I will paste the value like so, go refresh. Okay, so now by the way, this is not the name, we want the student course. So here is student course. Okay, save, go back here, refresh. You see we have JB Web Developer and we have here web development. So that is good. We have the data. So if we just go back here to edit any other, like Andrew, you see we have the ID, we have his data populated. Okay, so now instead of submit, we are going to say update. So I'm just going to change that button. Go down here, instead of value to be, then just say update. Okay, update like that. We can leave the submit button, everything can just leave it the way it is. So right now, go back here, try to do this. Okay, so at this point we have achieved one thing. At least we are fetching the data that belongs to this person and we are populating it in these fields. Okay, so right now if I click on update, I want to update this record. We should take all what I've written in here and should update it in the database. Now if you check what we are having, if someone clicks on the update button, okay, the one thing that is, guys, check here, this part you have to be very careful, more especially the action part. Now when you put the word action, one thing it does is that it is going to submit, or it is going to send the data to this page. Now we all know that echoing the server PHP self means this very document, but guys, this, since we are submitting in the same page, this action part we don't need it. Okay, this action part we don't need it, or you simply remove it, and this will tell the form that you should submit the data in the same form. So even if here on create, I know we have it even here on create, even if you go ahead and remove it, this action, even if you go back and remove it, it actually simply will submit this data in the same page. Okay, it will simply get the data and submit it in the same page. So you don't need to put this action if you're not putting another page. So if you put action, then you should send to another page, but if you are using the same page to submit the data, then just simply leave it. Okay, so that is great. So let me go back to my edit here. So we have the data of the person we are updating. So let's handle the part of actually updating the data. So when someone clicks on the update, we come on top here where we say if is set $post submit button. This submit button is now our update button. If you check down here, it is this, the update. So, and we gave it this name, submit button. When someone clicks on it, we want to know that he has clicked it by seeing if it has some data. We come on top here, if it's set submit button. Okay, If that is the case, we should get the receive the data that student is this post, student course is this one, and we can go ahead and validate that if these fields are empty, then we should give an error, something like all fields are required. Okay, let me remove this. So we can go ahead and validate the data again, because if he removes and you want to update it to empty values, we should not accept that. Else, we can now save. Instead of saving, we can update. Okay, we can update data. And how do we update? Instead of writing the SQL like this one is for inserting the data for the first time, but we are going to write the SQL for updating. So how do we update? So this SQL changes. Okay, this SQL changes, and we say, for instance, update. Okay, and you are updating students table. Update students table. Okay, set. So here we use this set. And what are we setting? First of all, we have the student in the database. We have student name. So set the student name to equal to dollar student name. Okay, guys, you are seeing I'm putting it in this quotes. The dollar student name, I'm putting it in quotes because it is a string, comma, and then what else are we setting? We are setting student course, okay, student course, and we can set this to dollar student course, like so. Now we need to know which field or which row are we updating. We cannot update the whole students table. If you run it like this, it will replace all the fields in that table, but we want only to replace for only this record. So here we are going to write more. We say where, okay, where ID is equal to $ID. We have seen us writing this. Okay, and for the ID we might not change it because it is an integer already. Okay, so this is our query. See it, how it is written, guys. I want you to see it here. So update students, set student name to student name, student course to student course, where ID is equal ID. Because we don't want to update for all the records, we want actually update for this specific record. And you can see again we are using this ID which we defined on top here. Okay, so moving on, guys. So if everything is okay, we update. So we run the query. We say if MySQL query, if this query runs successfully, we want to put this message. Okay, you have been registered successfully, and this time we are going to say you have been record updated successfully. Just say record updated successfully. As simple as that. Now we want to head after doing this. What we want is, we want after this happens, we want to send this person, we want to send back this person to the home page. And in fact, I'm just going to make this one instead of making it a p tag, let's make this one a script. So I'm just going to write here script. Okay, the good thing with Echo, you can do a script, you can do JavaScript, you can do HTML, or you can do anything with it. So I want to alert. I just want to see, just write an alert. Okay, so we can alert that this one record updated successfully with JavaScript like that. And we can also run another one that takes us to the new page. Okay, so we can do this. script, and instead of just alerting, we want to say document. Okay, on document we have this location. We can just say the location to index.php. So this means that we are going to, after it has alerted us that it has updated, then it can now take us to document.php, index.php. It will redirect us to index.php, and if the query fails, it should give us back the error, and we look at it. So fingers crossed, we are going to test this and we see if it works. So I'm just going to go back here, refresh. Okay, let me just go here, edit this record 2. It takes us here to these 2. I want to remove this JB web developer. I want to say JB dev. Instead of developer, I want to say dev. So click on update. You can see record updated successfully. Click OK. It takes back to index, and you can see our record has been updated. So that is cool, guys. Congratulations, this is great. I like it. So we can just go and edit the course, for instance. Let's say for this Century brand, I'm just going to edit here. You see we have plumbing. Let me add here plumbing updated. Click on update. You see it alerts us record updated successfully. When you click OK, it takes us back to this page. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, for watching this episode. What we did in this episode was so good. We did 2 queries. So in the first place, we wrote the first query to fetch a single record, and we fetched it here. I wrote it down here in the form where we fetched a single record. After fetching this record, we populated the values of the form so that we can see the previous values. We populated them. After achieving that, we now worked on saving or updating functionality, whereby after someone has updated the fields, we get this data as usual from here. Okay, we get the data, receive the data, validate the data, and after validating, update the data to the database. Okay, if it is successful, it should take us back to the index page. Okay, so thank you so much. I'm just going to see you in the last episode, in the where we are going to talk about the delete. Okay, thank you so much. See you in the next episode.